big welcome back, everyone. Hope everyone is keeping well, and big welcome to the 12 days of Christmas. So every evening for the first 12 days of December at 7 p.m, we are going to do a live demonstration, completely free class, showing you how you can decorate a door wreath. And maybe one of the evenings we might actually do a remembrance wreath. Let me know in the comments, would anybody like me to do a remembrance wreath? So we started last night. Last night was our first class, and last night we actually did a wicked wreath. And I did say if anybody in the comments, you know what I mean, would like something, you know what I mean, a bit different, and I'm going to need a bit of help off Deirdre here with the names, because Deirdre is the fanatic on wicked. But last night I just done a green, and that was the
Elphabeth Wreath.
Okay, so lots of people were looking for the GaLinda wreath, and obviously like with the pink, sure, Janie Mac, I should have done that one first. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to do a mixture.
Yeah, half and half.
Half and half, because Deirdre said that's the right way. That's how they do wicked. It's pink and it's green. So that's what we're going to do tonight, is we're going to do a half and half. And there seems to be, judging by the reaction of last night's one, there seems to be a massive demand. So what do we need? Let me know. Comment underneath. Let us know where you're watching in from. What's the weather like in your part of the world? And again, for the next couple of nights, what sort of themes would you like us to demonstrate for them nights as well? Obviously, I'll do some traditional ones as well. Now, last night, the competition went down a treat. And again, the 3 lucky winners, you were all commented underneath in the comments who won the prizes. Email us at info@caseflowerschool.com and we'll send you on your link. Now, don't worry if you didn't win last night. Tonight you have that chance again. So the prize that we're giving away is a mini online Christmas program. It includes 6 or 7 different classes, completely different to what we're demonstrating here for free. Again, for decorating your home or making up presents to give to people for Christmas. It's suitable for beginners, intermediate or advanced. So how will you win that prize? You have 3 options. You can just say pick me in the comments, and we'll randomly pick somebody that says pick me. The other option is you can name one of Santa's reindeers. Any of the reindeers at all. Name Santa's reindeers in the comments. Name them as many times as you wish. And again, Deirdre will randomly pick a winner of Santa's reindeers. And the third option is you can share our video. And by the way, you can actually enter under all 3 categories. So all we ask you to do is share this video to your own page. That makes it really handy. You're able to watch it back at a later stage if you want to copy any of these door wreaths. But also, if you happen to be in maybe a flower arranging club or some sort of a club, share it to your club. So again, if you share the video in the comments, tell me that you've shared it once, shared it twice, or shared it 3 times. And again, we will randomly pick somebody who has shared our video. So listen, we can't make it any simpler than that. And again, at the end of the class, we'll respond to 3 people who have either said pick me, named a reindeer, or shared our video, and they will be the 3 lucky winners. Anyway, moving on to tonight's wreath. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off, and actually I'm going to use the lighter colour first, and I'm going to make a collar bow. So these ribbons you kind of find with the kind of like velvety ones, there's no wire inside them, so they're kind of a little bit floppy for demonstrating. And I know I said this last night, but over the next few nights I am going to be using ribbons that have wires inside them, and obviously it's going to be easier to demonstrate the bow with the wire inside it, just so that you can see it. So this is just a typical kind of like collar bow or figure 8 bow, and I'm just going to wrap a wire around the center of it, and that's going to be my first bow. Now last night when I was doing the green wicked wreath, I just used the 2 shades of green, and I just made 2 bows. But tonight I'm actually just going to make the 1 bow, and then I'm going to use the pink and the darker green velour ribbon as trails coming out of my bow. So there's my bow made, and here is my pink, okay, and here is our dark green. So I'm just going to place the 2 of these together at the same time. Kind of get them half and half. There we go. And then a little bit of a kind of a fold over. I'll fancy off the ends of them in a second. Okay. And I'm just going to wire the tops of these. And this will just be a way of adding in the colours of our bow. And now that I have that done, I'm actually raging that I didn't make a pink and a green bow rather than this colour here. So I'm just going to get you to hang on, stay there 2 seconds just while I get the pink ribbon, because I've just changed my mind and I just want to get a bit of the darker green. Now it was actually handy enough, so here I am back again. This is how these ribbons come, and I already have some of them cut up into strips for myself. So I'm just going to measure another one approximately the same, so we got 2 strips there. And that's the thing about a live class. I often change my mind, so I've just decided I'm not going to use that green tonight. I'm just going to keep to the pinks and the dark green. So again, I'm going to place one on top of the other, and I'm going to do a collar bow using the 2 colours. And it's natural that the pink one must actually happen to be a little bit wider than the green one anyway. Now I could have made these as 2 separate bows, but I've decided to do the 2 of them together at the same time, which is a little bit trickier when you go to gather it in because it is quite thick. And then I'm just going to fancy off the ends of the ribbon with that fancy little V. And I'll probably just do 2 at a time because again, the ribbon will be quite thick when I go to cut it. So by cutting on that 45-degree angle, you get that little fancy kind of V cut up into the edge of the ribbon, and it just fancies it off rather than coming straight across. So there you go, and I'm just going to separate them there, that we have our pink and our green bow, and then I have my pink and my green tails. So I'm going to add this bow to the top of the door wreath, just the side of this, the top. I'll put a hanger on it in a few minutes. And then the tail part, I'm just going to add in underneath it, okay, making it look excuse me, I'm going to make it look like the tails are coming out of the bottom of the bow, and I'll fix them afterwards because as I'm putting in the decorations, they'll keep getting moved on me anyway. So I'm just kind of like securing them up there in place just so you can see, and that's just kind of giving you an idea there to see of our pinks and our green bow. And I'm glad I changed my mind and delayed it there at the minute rather than doing the paler green that I planned to do. Now I'm going to use this neutral green ribbon for my hanger at the back, which you don't actually see, by the way. So I'm just catching that around underneath the spruce. I'm just kind of poking it in here with my finger. So I actually have it hooked around the back of the frame, you see, and then I'm going to tie a knot. And then whoever gets this wreath, then they can choose themselves how long or how short they want to make that loop to actually hang it on their door. So that's what that's for. Now, the baubles that I'm using, I'm going to actually fancy off the ends of these ones. I hadn't fancied them off. So the baubles that I'm using tonight, again, we bought them in Lidl. So in Lidl, they have every colour. Oh, it's not that they're doing wicked baubles in Lidl, okay? But they did have every colour. And we were lucky enough that we were able to get some larger ones and smaller ones. So one side of the wreath, I'm going to keep to the pinks, okay? So I have these all wired in advance. And again, if you were watching last night, she's seen this all being done. But I'll give you a couple of little tips and a couple of little hints, okay? So with the baubles, when you buy them, the little crown that you normally hang on the Christmas tree, okay, that can be inclined to fall off them or break off them. So even when you're hanging on the Christmas tree, they can break off real easy. So what we did was I got a little dab of glue, florist glue, but to be honest, any glue will actually do. So I got a little dab of the florist glue, and I just added it to where the crown was, and it just glued the crown in place to make sure then that it wouldn't fall off. And then I was able to hook the wire in through the little crown using the 20 gauge wire, and then just twisted the 2 pieces of wire together. So I have a couple of larger baubles there first, okay? And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work in between this with some of the smaller baubles. So the smaller baubles were actually in the box, they were. So there was different sizes, and again with each of them I glued them too, and then I just hooked the wire through it, then just to kind of like hold it in place. So these wires, again, I'm just poking them down through the spruce, and you will see sometimes I stick a wire through and it actually meets the branch or sticks into a branch, and then you have to actually, you know, pull it back and go in from another stage. But in this packet of the baubles, there was also some baubles that were like a lampshade. You see, like a lampshade shape? And again, it's just giving me a different texture. So that's what I want to try and do, is I'm keeping to 1/2 of the door wreath. Now the door wreath frame itself, I actually bought that in from Irish Green guys. And if somebody wouldn't mind tagging them in the comments underneath. So Irish Green guys are based down in Kerry, and anybody that's in a flower shop situation, they're a brilliant company to actually buy your pre-made bases from. So somebody in Kerry basically gets them all made for you, and all you have to do then is decorate them, and it makes life really, really easy for you. But if you want to make one yourself, again, I have lots of free videos on our YouTube channel showing you how to make them from scratch, but there's a lot of work in making them from scratch. For anybody that doesn't want to buy them wholesale or isn't able to buy them wholesale, you can go to your local flower shop, local garden centre, or even your local supermarket, and you will be able to buy them there. So you can buy like a ready-made base. Sometimes there might be a bow on it, but you can always just take the bow off and you can decorate it up yourself. Now these little branches of pink baubles, I actually bought them in a flower wholesaler here in Dublin, and it was called Harold Ellen's. And what I'm going to do is, if I find, which I do think this might be a bit too chunky, is I'm just cutting the middle out of it. So you'll see that with these stems, just cutting the middle out of it, okay? But like nothing is going to go to waste. So now I'm left with 3 of them on branches, okay, on stalks, and then 3 of them where I actually cut the top off, okay? But these pieces that I cut the top off, I'm just going to wrap a wire around the bottom of them, and like the wire then is adding like a false stem. So then I ended up getting 6 pieces out of the 3 branches, so it worked out good value. Now the wholesalers that I bought these from are very strict, as in trade only. There's minimum amounts and you have to be in the flower business and register for VAT, etc. But again, you could go into your local flower shop and you could buy them, you know what I mean, from your local flower shop or similar. But check out the range. Like Deirdre was up in the range, and over the next few weeks you will see like some of the material that I'm going to use that I bought, or Deirdre bought, in the range, and they're absolutely gorgeous being used in the door wreaths. And some of the material, like this particular one, again, they were long branches. Like it's the night I do the silver one, watch that one, and you'll see then the way I had to break it up, you know, that way, and similar, make 2 pieces out of 1 piece, and I just found that I got better value. So what I'm doing is, in between the baubles, I'm just dividing up them 6 little branches here and there. I'll hold it up to you now in a second just to let you see it. So this side of the wreath, there is going to be pine cones going through that as well, but this side of the wreath, as you can see there, we're keeping pink. Now on the opposite side of the wreath, we're going for the baubles, and I do have darker green ones tonight, which I didn't use last night. So I'm mixing the darker green with the lighter green as well. So we're keeping this side, you know what I mean, all the green, so dividing it up. So I've 4 of the darker green baubles, so I just want to divide them down this side first, and then I'll work in between them with our smaller ones. And again, the thing is, like, once I have the material in place on the base, it's so easy to move them around and swap them around and pull them and chuck them. Do you know that way? Like, because they're on wires, they are permanently there, but I am able to move them around. Now I'm going to use some of the plainer ones. I have some of the glistening ones in there already. So just a few extra of the bigger ones before I move on to my smaller ones. Now, I'll just hold this up now just to give you an idea how it's coming together, right? So now I'm going to get the smaller baubles, and these all came from Lidl. So again, you need to be kind of like making notes of where I bought the different materials. And in between my larger green baubles, I'm now going to add in some of these smaller ones. Now again, in the comments, if anybody has any questions about anything that I'm doing here tonight, or if there's anything that you'd like me to do over the next 12 nights. Remember, the 12 nights of Christmas, okay? We're also, at 7 o'clock every morning, we're also doing top tips. We're getting up early every morning at 7 o'clock, and we're giving you top tips for Christmas. Little things like how to use frog's legs, how to soak floral foam, how to use the anchor tape, how to use the candle holders, what to use if you haven't got candle holders. All these little tricks that sometimes florists take for granted, but for a beginner starting off and you're not aware of it, like joiners, what is a joiner for and how can you actually use it? So these are things we are going to be doing our 7 o'clock in the morning classes. Now again, just hold this up just to let you see how it's coming together. So now I'm going to add in some pine cones, okay? Just for a little bit of texture. I have my pine cones wired up already. I also have some lotus heads, so I might use some lotus heads, but we'll start with the pine cones for the moment. And again, I'm using sometimes the pine cones to the inside of the frame. And you can see the way I insert the wire from the inside. And then other times I insert the pine cone to the outside. And by doing that, you actually make your wreaths a little bit chunkier. I'm going to add in an odd lotus head as well, because I think the lotus heads are beautiful. And again, it just gives another texture, and that's what it's all about. It's like when my students are doing flower arrangements, and I say to them, like, you need to get different shapes with your flowers. Like, don't have all baby carnations and large carnations together, because they're all roundy shapes. Like, use different shapes, like use alstroemeria with your baby carnations. So you can add in as many pine cones or as many lotus heads as you wish. Again, a little fix up with the bow there. Bring our strings down. And there you go. There's your Elphabeth and your GaLinda wicked door wreath, all ready to hang on the door. So hope you enjoyed that class. Remember, we're giving you the opportunity, if there's some design that you would like us to do, maybe a remembrance wreath, maybe a different movie wreath, a different themed wreath, or again a coloured wreath, comment in the comments underneath there. Let us know what you would like us to demonstrate, and absolutely over the next 12 nights we'll demonstrate something different at 7 p.m. every evening. Make sure to join us. Again, every evening we're given the opportunity to win a mini Christmas programme. All you have to do is comment underneath. Let me know, have you shared this video? Pick me, pick me, pick me gives you an option, and we might pick you. Or also name one of Santa's reindeers, and what I'll do afterwards then is I'll randomly pick 3 people. I'll get you to contact me by email and we'll get you set up. If you don't win tonight, don't panic. Join us again tomorrow night at 7 o'clock for our 12 days of Christmas. And listen, thanks a million everybody for joining us. And did you enjoy tonight's class? Did you like this wreath? Let us know. Talk to you all soon. Bye bye.